We are in the 12 o'clock hour, and as you know, there are a lot of really great, fun, and exciting events that are coming up this weekend. As we see here, the summer is usually a busy time. Now we're out of summer into fall. Fall is still a very busy time, too. Lots of fun activities for you to enjoy. You don't have to break the bank doing it, and you can even learn some really rich history and some awesome history that lives on to this day and wants to be shared and spread with folks in the Fox River Valley area. In particular, in Elgin. Elgin History Museum has their, of course, annual Bluff City Cemetery Walk. It is already coming up. It's the 38th annual Bluff City Cemetery Walk, and we're joined again by John Devine, again with us today. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Matt. How are you?
Good, thanks. I just want to move the mic a little closer.
Sure.
There you go. Perfect. So, John, introduce yourself for folks who don't know you. We've had you here on the air many times, but for folks who are just tuning in now, do a little introduction of yourself.
Yeah, well, I've been living in Elgin since 1990, and that's not long enough to satisfy the real born and raised in Elgin, but I feel have always felt welcomed by this community, especially in my job out at Elgin High School. And I taught history there, but Mike Alft was my boss, and he's one of the great town historians. Jerry Turnquist was just down the road at Ellis Middle School, and I learned a lot of Elgin history from him. And then I started getting involved with the museum, mainly by engaging students in some of their programming and volunteering possibilities.
Very nice.
So in retirement, I've jumped in more, and my wife Anna and I have been glad to coordinate the walk last year and now this year.
Very good. So for folks who don't know what the cemetery walk is, can you just give a little brief overview on what people can expect for those who have never heard before?
Sure. You know, for those who are listening before the break, as Matt talked about mindfulness, I kind of thought to myself, most people who go to the cemetery walk away more reflective in a happy kind of way. You might not think that, the cemetery walk would leave you with that feeling, but it's such a warm-hearted event, and the cemetery is so beautiful. And I think for your listeners who were, engaged around your mindfulness discussion, I think they would be delighted if they've never been to the cemetery walk. They would say, okay, I'm going to that every single year. It's so rich and rewarding and warm-hearted.
It's really cool, too, because you get to experience the life of someone that lived in Elgin in the past, who walked these streets and who made a difference in Elgin and even around the area, too. I mean, even in the world, too. It's phenomenal.
It really is. We have usually 7 characters, that's true of this year's walk, who made their mark on Elgin in interesting ways. The loop that we walk this year is 3/4 of a mile.
Okay.
So not too much. We do offer a tram for people who have a little trouble getting around. One of the things we're especially happy about this year is that much of the cemetery roadways have been repaved.
Okay.
And so it's for those who have been frequent at the cemetery walk, sometimes you had to watch your step along the way. But the beautiful new pavement, the cemetery is in great condition, and people will enjoy the walk and enjoy the stories this year.
Very cool. And if you've never been to the Bluff City Cemetery before, it's a pretty large cemetery. There's a lot of hills also.
Yes,
they're in the cemetery too. So how does the Elgin History Museum, who puts on this event, kind of help to navigate folks when it comes to where the grave sites are and all of that too?
Yeah, well, that begins really right after for us, we'll start making decisions about that probably next month, preparing for next year. Trying to find a walkable loop that has along the walk the graves of people whose stories we can tell. Unfortunately, we can't tell some stories because we can't locate any records other than what's engraved on the marker. And so we do our research around characters that we can build a 7-minute script around. So we try to make it walkable, enjoyable, informative, warm-hearted, all of those things. But we really start the last couple of years by looking for a theme or an idea. So instead of seeing or listening to 7 kind of disconnected stories, which is great, you can still learn a lot. By the time you get to your 3rd or 4th character, we hope that most of our guests will be making connections because there are so many between the characters, or if not directly between the characters in this year's walk, how they relate to our theme, which is inspired by the upcoming centennial of US 20.
Oh, okay.
So
yes.
that's Route 20, which goes right through Elgin, is 100 years old. And we thought, well, why not look for characters who had something to do with putting Elgin on the map with regard to transportation.
Yeah.
And so that's the theme, and we think that people will leave smiling about what they learn from these characters.
I think it's really cool when you have a theme, you can tie all of the characters together. They're already all tied because of Elgin, and, already as is. But then when you're able to even, I guess, condense it even more and find other things that they're all tied to is also a great way to promote how they not only have helped Elgin, but also how this particular theme helped them too.
I remember early on in our research phase, Beth Nawara at the museum was looking through our photo collection for a good photograph of Charles Harrison Burnage. And she found a great one, but in the process, she saw him in a group photo. And I looked over her shoulder at the group photo and I said, oh, wait a second. That's Theodore Schmitz that he's standing next to.
Oh, wow.
And she hadn't seen that. She was focused on finding Charles Harrison Burnage. But there are 2 characters from our walk in a photo together in 1941. They're cutting the ribbon to open Summit Street.
Wow.
After it had been paved. And then a further connection to that is one of our characters lived on Summit Street.
That's so cool.
And so none of that will be presented in this year's walk, those connections. But when I talk to people about the walk, then I start making some of those connections that between characters. It's very interesting.
I think it's so cool to dig deep into the research of Elgin and just in general, and then find those connections. I think is so cool. I've talked about this on the air before too. Many people who know me personally know I love family history and genealogy. I have ancestors that lived in Elgin, so digging into those pictures is quite fantastic to find relatives of yours and people that you know about, and then trying to piece together this and that, and it's also fascinating.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I know I do have a couple pieces. If I do antique shopping, I do try to look for things that are Elgin related, Elgin photographs, and so I do have a couple that I'm like, gotta bring it to the museum. Gotta bring it to the museum and show them.
Yes.
Definitely.
We'll be glad to take a look.
Yeah.
Speaking of antiques, one of the things that we have at this year's walk that we call, it's a guide stop. And basically that helps us pace the groups so that we don't, have a traffic jam in the way that we rotate people through the tour. And so we slow groups down with just a short little presentation, maybe a minute or less, of a stop along the way to the next character. And so one of the things that we have this year is a 1929 Buick.
Okay. Wow.
And it's parked just after the David McBride character stop. McBride Buick sold that exact car to somebody who lived on the 400 block of Jefferson Street, right here in Elgin. And the car has spent its entire life right here in Elgin before its full restoration. And so I think people will not only see a car that's old and fits our theme, but they'll learn that, okay, this car actually has an Elgin story. Those are delightful moments, you know, engaging history and people and artifacts and collectibles and things like that.
Absolutely. So this is coming up. This will be on there. So there are tickets still available. It's coming up here. It's Sunday, September 28th. And what are some of the times that people can expect to go?
Yeah, it's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. And ticket sales have, as they usually do in the week of, really begun to pick up. I want to recommend right now Saturday evening. There are 2 tours on Saturday. The first is at 3 o'clock, and you'll be done by 4:30 or a little bit before. And then we take an hour break and make sure our actors get a meal and reset everything. And then the 5:30 tour begins. And Matt, that tour, well, first of all, it's going to be a little cooler. It's supposed to be kind of warm on Saturday, but the air will be nice. And being at the cemetery for this walk as the sun starts going down it's just a kind of a magical setting. So you've got cooler weather, you've got the perfect time of day. So we have a lot of tickets still available for that Saturday 5:30 tour.
Very nice.
We put everything away and then come back Sunday morning. Our first tour is at 11 to 12:30. We take a lunch break and then we go 1:30 to 3. And then we call it a wrap.
There you go, folks. You don't want to miss out on this event. You can find more information at elginhistory.org. That's elginhistory.org. You can get those tickets. They are $20 for members and for guests, $25. That's Saturday, September 27th and Sunday, September 28th. John, thanks so much for coming in today. Greatly appreciate your time.
Enjoyed talking with you.
Absolutely, as always. Folks, we're going to take a quick time out. We'll be back with more here on Out to Lunch, WRMN. Stay tuned.